What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Sports Minorities Podcast, your home for not-so-expert analysis, shit-talking, and some wild and craziness in the world of the NFL. And if my voice sounds weird, it's because I'm dealing with something, but it's sounding a little better, I guess. I'm your host and resident Titans fan, JC. Joining me this week, and as always, are...
Second week Niners fan. I came back. We're going to do this. We're taking it all day.
Who is you?
Nori, New York Giants fan. Go Sports.
Rob, trifecta. We've already won 3. I'm good. Sports is meh. Later, guys.
DJ here, resident Cowboys fan. Looking forward to seeing how many other college coaches leave to go to other teams because money is the most important thing. Period. Point blank. The end.
What's the over/under?
Shit, that's a good question.
Are we counting the ones that have already moved, or are we saying...
New ones.
No, definitely new ones, because we can't count the ones that have already gone.
I'm going to say the over-under is 4.
I'm going to go 3.
Okay.
Dang. All right.
So we're taking the under. I'm going to take the over. I'm taking the over.
I'm taking over 3.
We'll talk a little bit on that with college side of things, but as always, we are running our season-long NFL pick'em game here. And the results went a little bit crazy week 12. We're going to talk about week 12. We'll talk about these coaching changes in the world of college football, and then we'll be making our predictions for week 13, and I will be providing the bye-week report card for the Tennessee Titans, who have finally gotten to the bye. I hate these late buys, I swear to God. Starting with how we did with week 12 on our picks. I finished first, 11-4. Chicken Wing at 10-5. And then DJ, Nori, and Rob went 7-8. So overall, it's still anyone's game, mathematically. Chicken Wing has the most picks at 110. I'm in second at 109. DJ at 106 in third. Nori in fourth at 100. And Rob in fifth at 95. So...
My only hope is JC.
Listen, JC saved y'all from me winning every week in November. Be happy with that. All right.
Yeah, it was difficult, but I did change my pick before the New England-Tennessee game to have the Patriots win. So I don't know if you guys realized I did that. So.
I did. Yeah, because I was talking shit about you to Rob. I'm like, didn't that fucker pick fucking Tennessee? What's he doing?
Did, and then AJ Brown went on IR.
Yep.
And then I checked the weather forecast and said, "Oh, there's snow." That's an easy change. Yeah. So that's an easy change. Yeah. Thoughts on week 12? I can start this off by saying Dallas is in trouble. That's something's just not right with that team, especially when they don't have the run game going. As far as Tennessee themselves, hey, they look great for the first half, and then after that, it was just couldn't keep up with New England with all the injuries. I'll talk a bit more about that on the bye-week report card later, but the main thing with Tennessee right now is that there's 4 pillars to that team. You got Tannehill, Henry, AJ Brown, Julio Jones. If we got at least half of them, we got a shot. But if 3 of them are down, there's just no way. And the fact that 3 of those 4 are on IR right now is a bit scary. So, thankful we're still in first place. I'll get to more of that later. Surprises for me, Denver and the Chargers can't get a hold on either one of those teams at this point, especially Denver. Are they good? Are they bad? I have no idea. And the Rams, believe it or not, have not won a game since, I believe they haven't won a game since the Von Miller and the Odell Beckham Jr. acquisitions. Am I right?
Yeah, they're 3.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Insane.
Chicken Wing, your thoughts on week 12?
In the infamous words of a Dallas fan,
Oh my
I
goodness.
regret nothing. Okay. Nothing.
Fuck off.
You're copying your brother now? Like,
Listen, I gave him credit, okay? I gave him credit first before I copied
did you
him.
create something on your own?
I did, and it's dark, so that's not. So
You know what?
so
You
let's
know
not do
what?
Yeah,
You're right.
you
You're right.
fucking-
Go ahead and steal
yeah.
everybody else's. No, you're good. You're
Thank
good.
you.
You're good.
So, in all seriousness, no, like all the games I picked were all educated guesses. Some of them, I'm now starting to see the Carolina beatdown that happened.
yeah,
Sad
shit.
about that.
Jesus.
I can.
But my biggest surprise is not the pick, but how they won, which was Green Bay. Like how they just controlled LA's front four on defense, and how Aaron Donald, Von Miller barely touched Rodgers that whole game. They handled it, and this was at Lambeau, so obviously you got that to deal with. But on top of that, the games went the way that I thought they went. And I want to give a shout out to Cordero Patterson. He came out and he really turned around that Atlanta offense. I still don't think they have a shot in the playoffs, but they're really coming around and actually doing something finally for themselves as a team.
Yay, mediocrity.
Yay,
I
participation.
mean, can you call Atlanta mediocre though?
Right now, yeah. I mean,
Yes,
I mean,
because
they
they're
put
not
up 21 against the Jaguars.
they're 5-6. They're pretty mediocre. That's a mediocre record, but
And Detroit lost by a field goal
Eh,
because Detroit.
Detroit's gonna lose just because they're Detroit. So I mean,
hey, Chicago is celebrating the fact they won by a field goal. Do we have to remind Bears fans about the hitting the uprights in the playoffs and missing those and all that stuff? So
I mean, we don't have to remind them what we're
I'm
going
just
to.
saying.
Speaking of
I
field
don't mind
goals,
them.
I almost threw my phone when Robbie Gould hit the damn post to put the game out of reach in San Francisco. I was like, really? You gonna give Kirk Cousins a chance? Oh, damn it!
There are a lot of doinks this season.
Yes.
Yeah, Randy
You noticed
Bullock had
that,
2
right?
for the Titans against the Patriots. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
DJ, your thoughts on Week 12?
Well, first and foremost, there are a lot of doinks this season, so let's just start there.
Yeah.
There's that. But then as far as Week 12 goes, well, I mean, we'll start with the Cowboy game. I don't, we're front runners. If we can establish a tone early and get things going, then we win games. But if we don't and we have to play from behind, even if it's 1 score behind, 2 scores behind, maybe it's 11 points, whatever it is, we're just in trouble. I mean, and it was evident in this game. And you've got CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper who are coming back on Thursday, but they weren't there, so you can clearly see we've got our 2 best receivers not there. And I don't know, there were times where our offense just looked pedestrian. I mean, you've got explosiveness and that everybody knows we're capable of, but then you have the 2 best receivers out, and it's just not there. So, you've got that for that particular game. Cincy Pittsburgh, I did not see that coming. It's a bitter rivalry, so I expected like a 16-13 type of game, something like that, something low scoring. Lots of flags for unsportsmanlike conduct and things like that. But, since you just beat the brakes off of Pittsburgh, and, just one play I want to showcase, you've got Ben Roethlisberger who has the ball right after his team picks it off from Joe Burrow, and then he immediately turns around and throws a pick six to his former teammate. I mean, I've never seen anything like that happen before, and that's kind of indicative of what Pittsburgh's dealing with this season. So yeah, that's what I got for Week 12. Fun stuff.
Nori, your thoughts on Week 12 of the NFL season?
So I forgot to change my pick on Yahoo because I picked the Giants, but I didn't change my pick. I don't know why. I just forgot. So I'm surprised how they won. Not really that they won. The only 2 teams to beat them within 6 points and hold them under 20 were the 49ers and Giants. So eat shit, Philly, and fuck you forever. And that's all I have.
Defense of your Giants was impressive, considering,
Extremely. I was very, very, very surprised how we won. Not that we won. I thought it was going to be some kind of a shootout with offense, but I'll take any kind of ugly W I can get.
I got something that might make you laugh this week. As you know, Mike McCarthy is on the COVID list and will not be on the sideline for the Cowboys tomorrow on Thursday. A certain James McAdoo may potentially be on the sideline helping out as an assistant for the Cowboys.
He's not a bad assistant. He was a great coordinator for
Yeah.
Green Bay. He's just a shitty head coach. But if Mike McCarthy's not coaching, I guarantee the Cowboys are going to win Thursday.
Here's a guarantee.
This is an interview. Just so y'all know, this is insider information. This is an interview for Dan Quinn. Just so y'all know, for the head coaching job.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah, it is.
That's what it is.
For any head coaching job, really.
Yeah.
Jesus
So
Christ.
Rob, your thoughts on Week 12?
Man, I can't figure out football anymore. Like,
Nope.
I can't, man. Like some of the teams that should be just stomping or through are barely getting by, and then some teams that have no business winning, like Denver, because they have no business winning against the Chargers on paper.
Because they're Denver, yes.
Because they're
Right.
Denver, like what?
Exactly.
And then Houston being Houston and just saying, "Hey, why don't we win today? Let's just go win." Oh, look, they beat the Jets.
Actually, they lost to the Jets.
Oh, they lost. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh yeah, you picked him to win.
I picked them because Mike White wasn't playing.
Yeah.
we all did.
Facts, bro.
It's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we're getting
And
all
then
the
like
bad
New
intel from
England
Nori.
just being an actual threat again, and like they're supposed to be rebuilding, quote unquote, and yeah,
Shit, we all thought that.
that's just impressive. So,
yeah,
Mhm.
that's
It's the system.
credit to the coach, credit
yep.
to the system there. So, yeah,
If they get one of the top 2 seeds, and I know only the top seed gets a bye, but if you get one of the top 2 seeds, you're guaranteed at least 2 home playoff games. So, and that's pretty important to have
oh
the
yeah,
road to the
definitely.
conference championship coming through your stadium. So,
through Foxborough. Yeah,
Yep.
no,
Facts.
let's not.
scary stuff. So,
Yep.
Yeah, quick recap of Week 12. We'll get into the home stretch with Week 13 in a bit because after Thanksgiving, things start to get a bit more serious. But there's still some bye weeks to go, which is crazy. There's actually some teams on a bye this week, and there's actually some teams on a bye next week, if you can believe in that. So,
Facts.
It's right in the fantasy playoffs. Ah,
yeah, it's weird. It's right on the edge. And even crazier than that is Miami. Yes, Miami, who played a London game, still has not had their bye week yet. Wow. Way to go, NFL, with the scheduling. So, college football wise, and we don't really talk about it too much, but it was worth mentioning. So many coaching changes, so much craziness is right before conference championship week, by the way, and right before the final college football playoff poll. Obviously, the first domino to fall was Lincoln Riley leaving OU, headed to USC. When the night before, and it was a good game, it was a good Bedlam game. The Sooners lost to Oklahoma State. Great rivalry game. Potentially the last time that rivalry game is played in Stillwater. We don't know the future of the rivalry once the Sooners leave for the SEC. I hope that's something that continues because that's that's a big thing for the state of Oklahoma. But he said in his new conference, it's crazy. It was almost like SC was flying under the radar because all season long everyone was thinking, okay, he's going to go to LSU. Are you taking the LSU job? Are you taking the LSU job? And he says at his post-game press conference, I'm not taking the job at LSU. Lo and behold, the next morning, Lincoln Riley hired by USC. And he's some quick meeting with the players, if anything, and then he's on a private jet with a few of his assistants, and some of his potential recruits for OU are already decommitted from OU and could be joining him at USC. His quarterback at the start of the season has already hit the transfer portal, possibly could be going to USC. So, and of course, Sooner fans are mad. They're throwing traitor signs all over the campus.
doesn't matter. She's getting paid.
He's getting paid, but did Riley do OU dirty here?
I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was a good move for him. Like, why fight it out in the SEC where you're basically fighting for your second or third place?
I mean, I wouldn't even give him second or third place. I mean, the OU doesn't play defense because the Big 12 doesn't play defense. You're not beating Alabama or Georgia or even LSU without playing defense.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
the road to a future playoff game will go through the Pac-10 just because it's going to be an easier. It's an easier conference to build a better team around. right?
Yeah,
Yep.
and you only have to deal with 11 other teams to be in a Pac-12 versus 15 other teams when the
15 in
SEC
the
is all
SEC
said and
now?
done. Yeah, you know. But it's just crazy because he was like Bob Stoops chose him to succeed him, and now Stoops is stepping up to coach whatever bowl game the Sooners go to, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in my personal opinion, that wasn't even the most surprising coaching change. It was Brian Kelly leaving
Yes.
Notre Dame for LSU.
Now
Yes.
this one surprised
Are
me.
you excited about this shit? What the fuck?
Dude,
I couldn't believe this.
I couldn't believe it either. Like, in a potential
how he
CFP
did it.
team,
yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
like it's still like it's the week before the last CFP voting, right?
Yes.
Your
Yeah.
team is potentially in that fourth spot, depending on how the voting goes, and you're just like, all right, bet. Oh yeah. Did you see
out.
how? Did you see the breakup email, or not even email, the breakup text to his?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
I got something.
Quick
Yeah.
little text to announce, hey, we're going to meet in the morning, and that meeting
Yo.
lasted all of like 10 minutes.
Yo,
Yeah.
No, there's a better one. There's one that says, "Oh yeah, by the way, guys, I was gonna tell you, but I guess you already found out." Da, 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 da. I was like,
yes.
you couldn't even tell your players that you're leaving. Like they had to find out from social media. Social media got it first.
Yeah.
It's
Like-
not you, it's me. Yeah, that's what they got. And then what's even
was
better, one of the players actually filmed him giving his 1 minute and 47-second speech before he left and didn't take any questions. It was
Okay, I need to
great.
see that video. I haven't found that
Oh,
yet.
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
I will look
get you a
for it.
link. Yeah,
I'm
I'll
not
get you a link.
sure if it's still there.
Oh, I
I'm
hope it
sure.
is.
I'm sure someone like there's a Twitter archive that has it.
There's a lot of anger there. I think I got an alert that Brady Quinn's come out and really upset about it.
Oh,
Yeah, Brady
there it is.
Quinn spoke
I
about.
got it.
He talked about it for about 6.5, 7 minutes. They did an interview with him, and
Yeah.
you can get that anywhere. Just go look it up online. But he's pissed.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of upset by it for Notre Dame too because after Lou Holtz stepped down as coach, they were trying to find a good coach for the program. They were going every which way with it. Notre Dame was struggling, and then Brian Kelly is building up this up and coming football program at Cincinnati, mind you. And the vacancy comes up. He takes the job and he completely turns that program around. They're making it to the college football playoff. I think at one point before the end of it, they did make it to a BCS championship as well. Didn't win a national championship, but they were in the running. He's there for 10 years. All points said this was his dream job too. You know, coaching Notre Dame. So much prestige there. The winningest coach in the school's history. When you think about how much football history there is at that school. And as you guys mentioned, if chaos reigns supreme this weekend, and it could happen, crazier things have happened in conference championship weekend. Notre Dame could sneak into the top 4, and Brian Kelly won't be there to coach him because he's already hightailed it out to Baton Rouge.
Because Georgia's playing Alabama, so I actually have Georgia winning that game. So Georgia beats Alabama, they're going to drop potentially. But Oklahoma State plays Baylor. That's no easy out. So Baylor could beat Oklahoma State. If both those teams lose and Notre Dame wins, they'd be in the top 4 potentially. I mean, obviously there's voting and all kinds of other politics and all kinds of other shit. But they could sneak in. So now you're in the college football playoff with no head coach.
That's not even the craziest one. Cincinnati could potentially lose. They're playing U of H. Both teams are undefeated in the AAC. U of H lost their first game to Texas Tech, and they've been killing people left and right ever since.
Yep.
That, honestly, Cincy versus U of H is probably, I think, going to be the best conference championship game of the weekend.
It's a trap game for Cincinnati. If they don't
It
go
is.
out there ready to play, they're getting blown out.
Yeah.
You know, going back to the coach, like the choice to go to LSU though, like financially, is gotta be so much more than Notre Dame.
10
Like,
years, $9.5 million or $95 million. Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
it's a money thing. Plus the benefits you have with just like the booster club for LSU and the commits that you get right out of Louisiana. Like you don't have to go far to recruit talent from Louisiana from like as in surrounding states, like you do with Notre Dame. Like
Do you-
it's just it's a better opportunity
Yeah.
as a coach to find better talent, to have a stronger back. Like, I get Notre Dame is a strong backer of their sports, but LSU blows that away. Like, that is a powerhouse. Like, you have the entire structure foundation there. So like it sucks but you're not paid for your loyalty. You're paid to win, right?
Yes.
So correct.
We're giving you the resources. Now you need to win. You need to.
Yeah, now you need to win. Yeah, so like he's going there with the expectation that he's going to do the same thing he did with Cincinnati, the same thing he did with Notre Dame, and the same thing is what they hope to bring to this LSU program that's just fallen short the last couple of years.
But that's the thing. Notre Dame arguably has more prestige than LSU. He was winning there. Now, money could be the issue. We don't know how much he was getting paid at Notre Dame because it is a private school and they don't have to disclose that. Some people were saying it was somewhere around $5 and $6 million a year. Who knows?
Yeah,
right?
but you also have to think about like the campus itself. Like, isn't Notre Dame predominantly like it was a Catholic school, wasn't it?
It is a Catholic
school. Catholic, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that turns off a lot of potential recruits just because of that reason.
There's that. Recruits also do have to pass entrance exams. You know, it's a private school.
Yeah, it's not an easy in.
It's not easy.
Yeah,
no,
it's not easy to recruit and win there. But if you do, it says a lot about how good of a coach you are. You're trying to find people that are smart enough to handle the workload and also be able to practice and win football games.
Right.
Another detriment could be Notre Dame is still technically an independent in football.
Yep, they are.
Yeah.
Is it time for them to finally full-blown join the ACC? Because
that's a good question.
That is a good question.
Last year they played a full ACC schedule and had the ACC football because of the COVID year. Made it to the ACC championship.
Yeah.
And I know they're traditionally an independent. They have their own TV contract with NBC. I get that. And I don't see any reason why the ACC couldn't make some accommodations until that TV contract runs out. But is it time for Notre Dame to drop the independent status? Is that hurting their recruiting base? Because they're trying to recruit nationwide. You know, they've played home games in the Alamo Dome, for instance. But now you're competing with conferences when you're independent. You're competing with SEC schools competing there. You're trying to recruit all over the place. And that's difficult to do. You know,
I mean, we'll never know until all the details are released. But like from the outside looking in, at least from a financial aspect, I think it was a good choice.
Okay.
Fun fact: Brian Kelly made his exit from Cincy in a very similar way.
Yeah, but people knew it was happening.
Yeah, but people knew about it. Like they knew well ahead of time. This wasn't like, "Hey, we're still in the competition. By the way, I'm out."
Yeah.
You know, that's not how he left Cincinnati. Cincinnati, it was like, "Hey, we know you're going. Let's go out with a bang." That's how it was.
Yeah.
It was more like we already knew it.
Like we get it. You're going someplace, and people are already talking that the head coach in Cincy might be a candidate for the Notre Dame job.
Oh God!
If you can believe that.
Two musical chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Well, your turn.
The defensive coordinator for Notre Dame has been emerging as an elite candidate. Marcus Freeman, I think his name is. So.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah. I don't see Brian Kelly taking a lot of his assistants with him. They seem, at least as of right now, have some loyalty to Notre Dame. And if Notre Dame gets into the playoffs somehow, and Brian Kelly's not there, you wonder if that team is going to play pissed off football and try and win it all to spite Brian Kelly for essentially bailing on him.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
They need some help.
Not wrong.
Conference championship games. We mentioned WKU at UTSA, Oregon at Utah in the Pac-12. Those are on Friday. On Saturday, it's Baylor against OSU for the Big 12, Kent State and Northern Illinois for the MAC. Mountain West is Utah and San Diego State. The Sun Belt, Appalachian State and Louisiana. SEC championship, Georgia versus Alabama. AAC is U of H at Cincinnati. Big Ten, and congrats to Michigan for finally beating Ohio State, by the way. Michigan versus Iowa. And ACC is Pittsburgh versus Wake Forest. which conference game do you think is the best one, and do you guys see chaos happening this weekend?
Oh, lots of chaos.
Absolutely,
Lots of
chaos for sure.
I think we already said like Cincinnati U of H is going to be a really good game.
Yes.
I think it's probably the best out of all of them.
I don't know about that, Mike.
I don't know about that.
UTSA and WKU be number one. Sorry, Rob. My bad.
That's going to be a good game for a good reason, because
That's not number one.
No, one of the games that I think is actually going to be really good is actually going to be the Pac-12 one, Utah and Oregon. That's going to be a very explosive game.
It is, especially because earlier this season Utah beat the brakes off of Oregon.
That's true. It's
they'll
a
be
revenge
revenge.
game. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of story, and these are players that have played against each other already. So it's not just tradition. These are literally Oregon players that got their ass whooped by Utah in the very first week of the year, and they're going to be coming back angry. So
Chickading's not too far off about the Conference USA Championship, because ever since WKU lost a close game, mind you, to the Roadrunners, they've been destroying people.
Yeah.
Like putting up 40, 50 points a game. So
This
is a revenge game for them, and I think it benefits UTSA. I know it's weird to say this. Yes, they lost to UNT. North Texas had more to play for last week, and it felt like UTSA was just playing on the hangover. UNT was trying to become bowl eligible, and they played their hearts out. But that was a good. If there's ever a good wake-up call loss, that was the one UTSA needed right there. So it's a good chance to hit the reset button. Okay, we've played this team. We know how they're playing. They're going to come in pissed off. I said from the beginning of the season, the conference championship is the goal right now, and that's what the Runners need to focus on. Win this game, and it's hard to beat a football team twice in one season in college football. Very, very difficult. So, but now you're at home, loud crowd, potentially the largest crowd in UTSA's history. They sold out the lower bowl, opened the upper bowl. So if they eclipse 56-743, which was the very first game in UTSA's history, is still the most attendance a UTSA game has ever had. That's the record they're looking for, and it's a potential we could have an Alamo Dome sellout. So we'll see.
Crazy. Did y'all see how much HEB was giving towards like the student fund to buy
a lot of
seats
companies, man. It's crazy.
Like HEB dumped a lot. USAA's dumped money.
And Sierra.
And Sierra's dumped a lot. Yeah, like a lot of big companies here in San Antonio bought a lot of seats.
And good, because the students have been showing up this year. So, and they were definitely going to need them there for that game. So, all right. Let's get into Week 13 for all the conference championship games. It's going to be fun to watch. This is one of the best weekends of college football because it's all for pride. Everything's on the line. And don't forget, next weekend is Army-Navy. I'm glad that game has its own weekend too. So, Army and Navy have released what their uniforms are going to look like for that game, and they're pretty damn cool looking. So, pretty slick too. So, go check those out. Week 13 of the NFL season. Teams on a bye week are Cleveland, Green Bay, Tennessee, and Carolina. The order of the picks that we're going to be making is JC picking first, Chicken Wing second, DJ picking third, Nori picking fourth, and Rob picking fifth. Now, before we get into that, obviously, it is bye week report card time, and it's my turn to go because the Titans are finally on a bye week. And much needed. The biggest thing is injuries, and more injuries. Do you guys know, prior to this season, what the record is for the most number of players used in a season by an NFL team?
No.
Most number of what?
Huh?
Most number of what? Repeat the question.
Number of different players an NFL team has used in a season.
No, I don't know actually.
No, I do not know that.
The record prior to this season was last year. It was the 49ers, and they used 84 different players.
Holy
I mean,
shit.
I knew we had a lot of money on IR, but I didn't know we had that many. Shit.
Well, that was last year.
Yeah, I know.
The Titans
'Cause
just
we
broke that
had-
record this past weekend.
Titans did it this year, right?
Yes, 86 different players and there's still 6 weeks left in the NFL season.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Christ.
So does that include like the practice squad and everybody they picked up, or is that just active players?
That's active players that have gotten into an NFL game.
Okay.
Oh wow.
86
So do we-
different players.
So did we still hold the highest amount of money on IR or
No.
I
No.
don't even know. Potentially.
There's no.
So
Because we had almost 90 million on IR.
I mean,
Yeah.
Mike, let it go, Mike.
the crazy
Last
part
year.
is that the Titans right now are tied for third for the most number of players on IR. The Ravens and Giants right now have 16 players on IR, and the Jets and Titans have 14. Just throwing that out there. So, as far as the Titans up to this point in the season, I'm I'm cautiously happy with how things are going. You know,
Right.
what's the term for Apollo 13? If there was a successful failure, right? 8-4, leading the AFC South, and in essence have a 3-game lead on the Colts because we have a tiebreaker for that. Third in the AFC, but damn it, we just need to get healthy. Julio Jones still on IR, dealing with the hamstring. AJ Brown is going to be missing at least 2 more games with a chest injury. Derrick Henry, of course, has the broken foot, but he has already started rehabbing. Seeing him trending a bit, he's working out at the Titans facility. He could potentially only be missing 1 more game at a minimum, at least, and then he could be back. So,
Wow.
Just in time for playoffs, bro.
just
Well,
in
yeah,
time for fantasy
exactly.
playoffs,
Yeah.
yes.
do you want to
Mhm.
bring him back though? Like,
I want him back when he's 100%. I don't want to rush him back because then you're just going to aggravate the injury, and if he goes on IR again, he's done for the year. That's the rules of it. If you go on IR twice in the season, that's it. You're done for the year. On a side note, the Titans did release Adrian Peterson last week, and he's actually just signed to the Seahawks practice squad. So,
I don't even understand that.
I don't know why. Their season's pretty much done.
Yeah.
I'm happy with how they performed beginning of the year. Obviously, did extremely well against previous year's playoff teams. The losses to the Jets and the Texans are obviously causes for concern. And even the week 1 loss to the Cardinals. I know that seems to be the anomaly week for so many teams, especially Green Bay. But that, if the Titans get things going now, that's a potential Super Bowl preview. You know, it's going to harken back to week 1. Are we going to be able to play to the level the Cardinals brought that first week? My grade for them right now is a B-. Offensively, if everyone is healthy, we're good. Right now, the offense is playing at a C level right now. Not good. I had a lot of concerns about the defense, and early on, it was looking like I was going to be having the same issues. But the defense has continued to step up. They're getting a good pass rush. The secondary's playing a little bit better. It's just that they ran into a Patriots team that's clicking on all cylinders this past week. So the defense right now, I'm giving a B+. Special teams, I'm just giving a straight C right now because I can't figure out if we do or do not have a good kicker because he doinked the upright twice this past week. So I guess it's better than previous weeks, but
Yeah, better than week 1 last year.
yeah. Overall, B- right now. As far as where they'll end up, the goal right now is one of the top 2 seeds in the conference. And right now, if they're getting healthy, and it seems like I think the injuries right now are at the right time. They're going to get everybody back in time for the final stretch run after all the teams' bye weeks are done. I think the Titans are going to end up with the number 2 seed, losing a tiebreaker or just losing the overall record to the Patriots. And that's kind of where I'm sitting at right now. The 2 seed should be what they're shooting for at the very least, just so they get 2 games going through Nashville, and that's important. So, but healthy is the main thing. Don't rush Derrick Henry back too much. Looking at the rest of the schedule, the one game that I think has a big cause for concern is the Dolphins and the 49ers, I should say. I forgot the 49ers are still on the schedule because the 49ers are playing great. So, 5 games left on the schedule. Jags, Steelers, Niners, Dolphins, and Texans. So Niners and Dolphins are the 2 that I think they have to have if they really, really want to be getting that 2 seed. So
Oh, you mean the Super Bowl preview? Hey, bro, I like that.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right.
All right. Into our picks for Week 13. We'll start with the Thursday night game. Dallas at New Orleans. I feel like there's deja vu because I feel like almost every year, whenever there's a Thanksgiving game with Dallas, a week later they're playing New Orleans on a Thursday night, right? It almost seems like it happens every year.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's
They're super
accurate.
close. They
Yeah.
usually they put pretty close.
DJ, your Cowboys are back on Thursday night. Who you got in this game?
Got the Cowboys because Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb will be back, and then we can actually spread the offense out like we have been, and we'll get a win because of that. We should be getting Marcus Lawrence back as well, based off of the reports I've read, because he's been practicing, so that should help to bolster our defense some too.
All right. I'm going with Dallas, mainly because Mike McCarthy will not be on the sidelines.
That
That's
too.
win because they have a bad coach.
Yeah, and also because the Saints are dealing with their fair share of injuries. There's a lot. They only put up 6 against Buffalo. Their offense is just not moving right now. But this is a prime good game for Dallas to kind of get things back at least going again in the right direction. It's whether or not they can sustain it. But 1 week at a time, I got Dallas winning this one. Chicken Wing, what about you?
I also have Dallas winning this one with the combination of both of you two. I mean, that's pretty much the nail on the head. You guys are getting healthy on offense, I should say. Not so much Mike McCarthy. I mean, I don't think he's the legitimate problem, personally. He does make some questionable calls, but at the end of the day, I was more intrigued in the fact that the Saints have called Taysom Hill to be the starter this week. So that will make things a little interesting. Yeah. Apparently so. But like you said, the injuries will be just more than enough for Dallas to really just abuse and take advantage of, and that should give them the edge on this matchup.
All right. Nori?
I have Dallas because the Saints still don't have a quarterback. So
Not wrong, right? And Rob?
Nope. That's correct.
I too have Dallas because fucking Saints.
Just fuck the Saints. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
That's another way to look at it, yeah.
Pretty
All
much.
right. On to the Sunday or early afternoon games. And Rob, you're picking this one first. It's your Bucks going to Atlanta, who suddenly got the offense going, but then again, that was just against Jacksonville. So, it is what it is.
Hey, they beat the Bills though. Don't do that.
Wow.
How can we forget 9-6?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
just saying.
I'm taking Tampa Bay because the Bucks are just gonna shut down Kyle Pitts and Cordell, and that's it. They don't have any other offense.
Basically.
Is anybody taking Atlanta to pull some sort of an upset this weekend?
Go,
No,
Mike, go.
Negative. No, not going to happen.
I mean, it's
Bucks are
yeah,
too good
no.
right
Go
now.
ahead, do it, Mike. Do it.
Nah,
Do it.
nah,
Do it.
I'm not.
Come on.
No.
Damn it.
No.
Try to get the lead on him.
I tried, JC.
Yeah, no. Appreciate it. Yeah, Tampa favored by 10.5. I don't think anybody's taking that. Arizona favored by 7.5 on the road at Chicago. I
Yep,
feel
you
like I
can
can
do it.
ask this one. Yeah, is
You can
anybody
do it.
going to take Chicago to beat the Cardinals right now? Coming
Nah.
off their
No.
big Thanksgiving win at Detroit. So
No. Arizona's
No.
gonna cover that spread. That's just not fair.
No.
I mean, maybe if it was like 13, then I'd go Chicago to cover.
all right, that was easy. All right, Chargers at Cincinnati. Two teams that honestly at times play very inconsistent. I know the Chargers the Bengals just beat the brakes off the Steelers, but how many times have we seen them put up all these points and the next week they just can't do a damn thing, right? And the Chargers, of course, they're good 1 week, they're bad 1 week. We still can't get a handle on it. So, that being said, I'm going with the Bengals at home on this one. I'm expecting to see them kind of ride the wave of them getting the offense going. They looked impressive against the Steelers, and that's where I'm feeling on that one. Chicken Wing, what about you?
Wow, you really seriously asking me that? Nah, bro, they're definitely fucking Cincy all day.
Okay. All right, DJ?
Yeah, same for me. Definitely going Cincy. Their offense looked really good, but their defense did too. I mean, I realize there's a whole lot going on in Pittsburgh, and we don't know the half of it, and they just don't look like a good football team right now. But when you get held to 10 points, that's saying something about the defense. So you got the offense clicking, the defense clicking, and if they can keep that up, they're going to make some noise in the division, and they may win it because Baltimore's not playing well right now either. So at this point, definitely going Cincy.
All right, Nori.
The Bengals remember how to win football games, and the Chargers forgot. So I'm going to pick the Bengals.
Very true. And Rob.
Oh, I'm taking Cincinnati at home. I think when LA goes on the road, they forget how to win. So.
Very true, especially last week, right?
Oh, wait, don't they have no home games at all?
They don't get home games. That's true.
Yeah.
Facts.
That's true.
Games.
Damn it. All right, well,
They're always away games.
that's true.
They're
Damn
always
it.
away games. Even
Logic.
their home games are away games.
Minnesota at Detroit. Last time the teams met, the Vikings actually did make a field goal to win the game. Detroit losing like they have. Anybody think Detroit at home is going to get their first full win of the season? Not half a win like a tie, but a first full win of the season.
Negative, sir.
Are they playing Pittsburgh?
No, I've got the Vikings win. I've got the Vikings winning this game by
Good
2
question.
field goals.
Yes, sadly they can't play him twice, Rob.
Damn. Alright, well, pick Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota it is, yeah. Yeah,
Vi-
and they don't
Vikings
have Pittsburgh on the
by
schedule,
6.
unfortunately. Sorry. They do have the Seahawks, though.
Oh, the
That
chicken.
could be it.
Yeah.
Because Russell Wilson doesn't want to be there anymore anyway, so he may not even play.
Nah. That's not
They may just start Geno Smith and just shut down Russell.
Can't lie, though. That touchdown pass that Russell Wilson threw at the end of the game against Washington was amazing. Just
It was a thing of beauty, and right before a pick in the end zone to end the game. Yes, absolutely.
What a way to end the game, right?
Yeah.
Giants at Miami, now 1-0 without Jason Garrett as the offensive coordinator, heading into Miami to play a red-hot Dolphins team right now. Nori, it's your team. How do you feel about this game, and can your Giants pull it off?
I'm not sure, honestly, because Daniel Jones has a strained neck. First, I heard he wasn't playing. Then I heard he is practicing to play. I really don't know who to pick. I think they're both remembering how to win games. Miami's offense looks a lot better than ours, so I would give the edge to Miami right now just because I haven't seen the Giants put up a lot of points yet. And these teams are really, really similar, where the preseason they were expected to make the playoffs, not win the divisions, well, at least one of them, but make the playoffs at least. Wild card, whatever. And, yeah. I don't know. I think it's going to be a good game. I hope the Giants win, but I think Miami is a little healthier right now with a better coach.
Yeah, I'm going with the Dolphins at home. Unless the Giants somehow get that defense to shut down what Tua's doing, but that offense is just clicking for the Dolphins right now. They're, like I said when we talked about the contender or pretender, that they're just the hottest team right now and the most dangerous team. So, and honestly, with only the 7 losses, if they run the table, mathematically they got a shot to get in the playoffs at 10-7. So, but I'm going with the Dolphins to win this one. Chicken Wing, what about you?
I'm going with the Giants on this one.
Ooh.
The fact, not because of how they beat Philly, I believe that with Daniel Jones, if he does start learning the new system or working with this current system now, that they're finally letting him do what he needs to do, not the thing that Nori complains about the whole time, not giving Daniel Jones the reins to control the offense. The man's got to learn the football scheme in one way or another. So with the fact that he's not being held back anymore, I think they're going to take full advantage of that, and they're going to really just show up to play. And the fact that they're not mathematically eliminated yet gives them a fighting chance to, like what you mentioned, sneak into the playoffs.
DJ, what about you?
Going Miami. Their offense is clicking, their defense is clicking, and this Miami team looks like the team that at least I can say for myself, thought that we would see at the beginning of the season. I thought Miami was going to be a good team. I thought they had a chance to win their division, and this team looks like the team that we thought we'd get at the beginning of the season. It might be too little too late to win the division, especially with the Patriots playing as well as they are, but they are not eliminated from the playoffs yet. I see Miami winning this game.
Yeah, I think most of us had Miami as a wild card spot at least. So Rob, what about you on this game?
Oh, taking Miami. This is an easy one for me. It's Miami at home, and like everyone else has said, copy pasta. Offense is clicking, defense is clicking. Yeah, so Miami.
Hey, you're really gonna have me as a lone wolf, huh? All right.
Yep.
Yeah, looks that way.
All right, Philly at the Jets. Back to the stadium where they got just lost to the Giants. Now they got to go back and play the Jets now, right? So, does anybody think the Jets can make this a clean sweep for the city of New York against the Eagles?
Yes.
Not unless Mike White's playing.
Ooh, yes, really. Okay, well, I don't. I'm picking Philly on this one to bounce back. Chickawing, where are you going?
I am picking also Philly to bounce back. They know that they have a shot now with the Dallas loss. They're an earshot of taking that division.
Yep.
I mean, yes, I know that they just lost two, but they are still an earshot for that division. So as long as they know they have that chance, they're pretty much going to play out until they're eliminated.
All right, DJ.
Yeah, I'm going Philly too. Again, Mike White's not playing, so I'm not going to pick the Jets because without him, they have no shot. But regardless of the loss that Philly had, I mean, like I mentioned last week, I mean, they put up over 30 points the 2 games before they played the Giants, and it's a division game, so those are always tougher, regardless of the records. So now they're going up against the Jets team that is once again playing for draft capital. So Philly.
All right, Nori.
Yeah, only 2 teams, like I said, have held Philly less than 20 points. The Jets, I don't think, will be the third. I don't know. The Eagles are not as bad as their record, and I just think they're better on both sides of the ball than the Jets, and I think they should blow their backs out.
All right, and Rob.
Just thought about it, so had a good time to think about it. And Jets are probably going to be playing for a draft spot anyway, so yeah, they're probably going to lose. So let's just go with the Philly clean sweep.
Philly, okay.
Yeah.
All right, final of the Sunday early games. Indianapolis at Houston. Does anybody think the Texans can beat the Colts here at home?
Fuck no.
It's a division game. They play them tough.
Shut up. Look, because the Indianapolis Tailors are going to be doing just fine, okay?
Goddamn right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. That is their name. Thank you so much for remembering. Yes.
Well,
Indianapolis Tailors.
they didn't use them a whole lot against Tampa up until the fourth quarter. You think if they had done it the whole game, they might have beaten the Bucks?
They probably should have.
Absolutely.
Yes, they should have.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so we're all going with Indy on that one. All right, Sunday late afternoon games. Some of these are pretty interesting, actually. The first one, Washington at Las Vegas. Vegas coming off a huge win. Washington is just getting things going right now. I'm going with Washington on the road. As it stands right now, I think they are potentially, those 2 games they play against Dallas are going to be decided in the NFC East. And so they want to have themselves in a position to be able to win the division there. So Washington's playing great. I got the Washington football team to beat the Raiders. Chickawing, what about you?
I have the Raiders helping out the Dallas Cowboys secure that division and beating up Washington.
All right. DJ.
Fucking hell.
Sounds like every time I have to agree with Chicken Wing with something.
Well, you hit the nail on the head because I'm actually agreeing with Mike on this one. I'm going to pick the Raiders. They came off a big win, and they actually showed us that they can put up some points because they haven't been doing that consistently for a while, but they put up 36. And I think that'll be enough to beat the quote-unquote truth, Taylor Heineke, who Mike has now forsaken by picking against him.
No, it's just that
you forsake them. You picked against
forsaken
them.
the truth?
No. Hear me out. There's a reason for it. Now, the Raiders utilized Deshaun Jackson. The Rams didn't. That whole game. Well, like as long as Deshaun's been over there, they didn't utilize him at all. right? And then the Raiders, when they did, yeah, it was only a couple plays. He didn't learn the system that quickly. I get that. But look how much more production he was doing when he got utilized. And I think that now that he's got a whole week under them, he's going to take full advantage of that playbook. And that's why I honestly think they're going to, do what they do and take care of that.
That is a valid point, actually.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good on you, Mike.
Look at you being all smart.
Yeah, look at you. You've been educated. I appreciate that.
It's studied. All right, Nori, who you got?
If the Raiders can hang 36 on Dallas, who's better on both sides of the ball than Washington, then they shouldn't lose to Washington. I know Washington's playing better, but the Raiders, I think, are awake now.
Okay. And Rob?
I'm taking the Raiders. Like, just with the points that they put up last week, if they can just put up most of those points, they'll beat the Washington Redskins. Or, excuse me, Washington football team.
Ooh, you racist.
I racist. I sorry.
All right. Jacksonville going across the country to take on the LA Rams. Rams are favored by 12.5. As we mentioned, the Rams have not won a game since they acquired Von Miller and Odell Beckham Jr.
Well, let there
And
be
then the
one.
Jaguars just haven't won many games.
In the U.S.
Yeah. Well, one in the U.S., one in London, right? So,
That's true.
but that being said, I feel like I can still ask this. Does anyone think the Jags continue the losing streak for the Rams, or the Rams going to break it? Does anyone think the Jags have a shot to win this game?
No.
The Rams, as a team, went to the doctor and said, "Doctor, we've got ailments. We don't know what's going on. What can we do?" And he said, "Well, you know what? Here's a prescription. I'm going to send the Jags your way, and that'll fix everything." Oh, no. The
Thanks,
Jags
Doc.
won't win.
All
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Thanks, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.
Haven't seen anything on Twitter that says otherwise, so yeah.
I mean, I personally want the Jags to win, but that's just my selfish reasons. That's all.
Yeah.
Selfish ass.
Just so you can just troll Rams fans on Twitter if they do lose to the Jags, right? So,
I mean, yeah. Why not?
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't see any scenario where the Jags pull this game out. I mean, I don't even see them being able to put up enough points to compete. That's the first issue. And second, I mean, if the Rams defense actually starts playing and, Von Miller gets going, Aaron Donald gets going, I mean, Malone is going to be running for his life.
I mean, remember, they beat the Bills.
I mean, there are a lot of strip clubs in LA.
They're,
Wow. There we go. There we go.
Damn it.
they really are. Whores?
I'm
Whores.
just-
Listen,
You're right.
There.
You're right.
There's
Make
a
yourselves
hope.
available.
There's a hope, all right?
The
There's
power.
All right.
The power. I see,
Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Baltimore favored by 4 on the road. The Ravens are the top seed in the AFC right now, but they have not looked impressive. Just barely squeaking out wins here. And then there's Pittsburgh, who just really hasn't been impressive at all.
Ask
I-
it.
Should I ask it? I don't know if I should. I guess I'll ask it. Does anyone think the Steelers can beat the Ravens this weekend?
yeah.
No.
No,
No?
because Chase wants to put music in practice, and people didn't like that.
I saw that. That was so
I
funny.
saw that.
That was hilarious.
Golly.
That was great. I'm sorry. That
I
was
think that'll help our team. We'll practice better. No, it won't. Shut
No,
up.
it won't. Y'all be too distracted and dancing around. That's what's going to do. So,
Hey,
Exactly.
TikTok videos, bro. That's what it's about, bro.
Yeah, it only cost us the
Juju
playoffs
Smith
last year.
Shyster. Yeah.
It was only the playoffs last year.
and the final of these Sunday late afternoon games: San Francisco heading up to Seattle, taking on the Seahawks. Chicken wing. Your team's been playing pretty good. The Seahawks are still recovering from injury, but they're keeping games close. How do you feel about your Niners this weekend in Seattle?
I'm concerned only because Debo is out. Yeah, he's out. It's a groin injury, so it isn't like he tore anything, which is a plus, but he's definitely going to miss this one. I think we're also going to lose Fred Warner, so that will play a factor. Outside of that, Russell is still not playing like Russell, which is a plus for me. And then when you combine all that, the injuries between both teams, our offense is better. Our defense exists, unlike theirs. So I feel confident. I get it. It's a division game and we're playing in Seattle, but I still feel
doesn't
confident
matter.
enough for us to take it.
Anybody think the Seahawks? I know the Niners are dealing with injuries, but anybody think the Seahawks get a division home win here against the Niners?
No.
Did they find a run game yet?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Well, I mean, they did sign Adrian Peterson to the practice squad, so
So no, they didn't find a run game.
Starting.
Oh, that's a no.
Is he
Yeah.
starting? Because I still got Golden Tate. He's still in the practice squad. Don't judge me. Okay, don't
know.
judge me.
Well, I mean, the Titans did the same thing with Peterson, and then they activated him before the Rams game, and then he ends up scoring a touchdown. So,
Yep.
There's a very likely chance that Adrian Peterson suits up for the Seahawks on the field this Sunday.
I mean, it can't get any worse from a running game standpoint. So, I mean, put him on the field and see what he can do. I mean, maybe he'll shock everybody and run for 125 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Let's not. Okay, let's not. Okay, fuck you. All
I'm just
right.
saying.
Let
I'm
him
just
run
saying.
for 12 be out
Look,
the rest
Mike,
of the
if
game. Right?
Yeah.
he may do something. I don't know. I don't see it. I mean, first of all, Russell doesn't want to be there. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. He does not want to be in Seattle anymore. I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction right now that has to do with next season. Russell Wilson will have on a different jersey next season.
Oh, for sure. I still think he's going to be an Eagle.
No, I think he'll be a Packer because I don't know if Aaron Rodgers will be back.
Well, what about Jordan Love?
What about him? Did
knock
you
it
see how
off.
he played?
Knock it off.
I
Yeah,
know.
shut
I
up.
know.
Jordan Love, knock it off.
I'm
All
sorry. My bad.
Sunday night game, and this game was flexed into the slot. Denver at Kansas City. And I'm still trying to figure out why this was flexed.
I agree. I don't know why they flex this.
Who was the original night game?
I don't even know. I can't remember who the original night game was. But
Oh, I think it was us.
well, was it San Francisco, Seattle?
I think so.
And I can see why at the beginning of the season because it would have been a big division game, but now nobody gives a shit.
Well, that's
See, but if I'm looking at the other games, and I know there's not a whole lot of close ones, but I would have loved to see Washington and the Raiders being flexed. That would be a pretty good game.
I would have.
Yeah.
That would be better than what's here. Yeah, because I
Yeah,
think Kansas
so-
City is going to blow the doors off them.
That's probably the one that's going to have the most playoff implications right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all of these games. Well,
Okay.
no, because
So,
Dallas and New Orleans.
Wait. So hypothetically, if the Chiefs manage to lose this somehow, the Chargers or the Raiders win, or the Broncos win, the Broncos actually go into first place in the AFC West.
I don't.
They have the tie because they'll all have the same record, and they somehow.
So how
have
have
the
the
tiebreaker.
same record, and the Broncos would have the tiebreaker.
Wow.
Oh.
So maybe this
that's
one
why
isn't
they
so
flexed
easy of a
it.
pick. So
Yeah.
That's why they flexed it. All right.
Okay.
well,
Okay.
All
that
right,
being
Rob.
said, I'm going with KC at home.
Yeah.
Coming off a
Oh.
bye,
Yeah.
yeah, they're going to be ready for this game. And Denver, as good as they looked, they're so inconsistent until they string together two wins in a row. Now, it's going to be hard to pick them consistently. Chicken Wing, what about you?
Denver is a bunch of fucking fraudsters, bro. I'm never picking them again. Ever.
Okay.
All right. DJ.
My bad.
I'm picking Kansas City. I think Kansas City is going to blow the doors off of Denver. They're playing good football right now. They're coming off a bye. They're getting people rested and healthy. I don't see Denver even keeping up with Kansas City after the first half's done.
Okay. Nori.
I don't think Kansas City loses any more games the rest of the year.
Okay.
Cheat code, bro.
And Rob.
They turned the cheat code on. It's not happening. Like, yeah, I'm
They
taking.
turned on all Madden.
Right.
Yeah, this is the all Madden football team. Yeah, thank you.
Well, I don't
We're gonna
know.
go
The
KC
Chiefs
again.
still have the Bengals on the schedule, so that could be a really good game. Week.
might be
That'll
nice.
flex that one.
Yeah, that's a Week 17 game right now. So
I mean,
Ooh.
if they have nothing to play for, if they're not gunning for number one spot, I don't think it's going to be a great game, honestly.
And the Monday night game, and this one, it should be a good one, actually. New England at Buffalo. Big AFC East matchup. And I know New England's playing great. Buffalo, we're still trying to get a handle on them. But this division is going to come down to these two teams, and I'm still thinking that they're going to be splitting the games. And so I think Buffalo is going to get this first one at home. and probably lose later on to the Patriots when they play again. But I know the Patriots have been playing great, but crowd's going to be big for this one. But I'm going with Buffalo at home to pull off, even though they're not even favored, actually. Buffalo is favored by 3 just by virtue of being home. So, but I'm going with the Bills to win this one. Chicken Wing, what about you?
I am going for the Patriots. They are clicking. They are playing. They told everybody, shut the fuck up. We're here.
I think I heard them say that, yes.
I mean,
Yep.
they pretty much did. And how they're beating people in Belichick fashion is just impressive all around. And so, on top of Buffalo right now, they've also shown constant, that's an oxymoron, constant inconsistency. Wow.
Okay,
Somehow
so
it makes sense, though.
You knew it.
Yes,
You
He still
said
went with
anyway.
it. He still went with it. Just
yes,
let
I
him
did.
go.
Yes, I did. No,
Let him
because
go.
I got
think
it.
about it. Okay, now, yes, I make fun of them for losing to Jacksonville. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
At the same time, they're not beating good teams. They're beating bad teams. And so with New England showing everybody that, hey, we're a legitimate team, I honestly think that they're going to take advantage of that, and Belichick plays them all the time, and then he knows how they play. And so I think he's just going to coach them to beat them at their own game, honestly.
So they're consistently inconsistent. We'll just go.
That's
with
it.
That is,
That's
the,
the title,
that
bro.
is the title
Let's
of
go.
That is the
episode.
title of this week's show. I
Got
love it.
DJ, what about you?
Great. Patriots. Patriots are not just beating teams, they are beating teams up. In the past 4 games, they've outscored their opponents 130-26. And they'll go ahead and add the Bills to the next spot for victims.
Okay.
Fact.
There you go.
Nori?
I'm waiting for the Bills to beat a good team. It hasn't happened yet, so
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Patriots.
And Rob?
I'm taking the Patriots. Their defense has just been manhandling people.
Giving me fantasy points. I love it, too. Ooh.
Shut up.
Ooh.
No one cares. No one cares about your team. None whatsoever. But yeah, they've just it's not even been their offense, honestly, that's been surprising. It's been how well their defense is just completely shut down every big name targets that the other team has. Whether it was Cordell Patterson with the Falcons or when it was, I think, McCaffrey with the Panthers, like
Mm-hmm.
they were able to contain Austin Eckler with the Chargers, so like they're able to just shut down key pieces of the opponent's offense. They do that with the Bills. I don't see it happening for the Bills, so Patriots.
All right. And that, ladies and gents, is week 13. And that's not even the last of the bye weeks. I still can't get over that. It's just crazy. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Sports Minorities podcast. And I know baseball fans out there are saddened to learn that there is going to be a lockout. Officially, the two sides could not come to terms on a collective bargaining agreement. The current one expires, and the owners have already voted to lock out. So all that free agent frenzy that's been going on is going to be going on hold. So there are a lot of star free agents out there that still have not signed with a team, and they're going to be waiting until this lockout ends at this point. So,
Oh, pobrecito, you're millions and millions and millions of dollars. Oh, no.
yeah. Does anyone think this potentially gets into March or April and threatens the beginning of the season?
I think it ends by March, honestly.
Before spring training, or
Before spring training.
I hope so.
I'm hopeful.
I hope it does, but I can see
I'm
it going in there and being chaotic. Just because, I mean, why not chaos?
I mean, there's a lot of money on the line right now, so yeah, I can see.
Yeah, but just I remember the baseball strike of the mid '90s.
90s? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last time there was a work stoppage of baseball, and the league took a long time to recover from that. So
Yep.
you don't need another one right now. Like
Yeah,
resolve
but
this.
that was, but both sides saw how much they lost. Like owners saw how much they lost from games being canceled, and players saw how much they lost from being stubborn. So
Yep.
just make something happen.
And then there's Bobby Bonilla, who still gets paid like millions of dollars every year by the.
Greatest contract ever, bro.
That is
Oh my god.
literally the greatest thing I've ever seen,
Yeah.
Oh,
contract-wise.
man.
Thanks for listening to Sports Minorities. I'm JC, your resident Titans fan. Let's heal up on the bye week and just get rested and healthy. So, joining me as always are
Chicken wing on string.
That's it.
Nori
Yeah.
going for my Giants. You know, I never know what to think about them, so I don't have any zingers this week.
if they beat Miami, how excited are you going to be?
Pretty happy because Miami's pretty hot right now. I'd be pretty happy. I think it'll be closer than people think, but a lot of it depends on who we're getting back, who's coming back healthy, and depends. I might change my pick if everybody comes back healthy.
All right.
This is Rob, aka the Trinity. Try to find the over/under on how many shots Nori's taking during the Giants game.
I say.
I say 5.
I say over 5.
Over that.
Over
that.
Okay,
That was too easy, JC.
damn it.
DJ, Cowboys fan, and really hoping that with Mike McCarthy sidelined, we can get a victory. A speedy recovery, sir. But if you want to take extra time off, that's fine too.
No rush.
Yeah.
No rush.
No rush.
Take all the time you need. 6 weeks.
Thanks everyone for listening. Be safe out there with the Omarion variant. Yeah, that's a lot more fun to say than what the actual name is.
Oh my goodness.
I'll catch you guys next week on the Sports Minorities Podcast. Check you later. Thanks everyone once again for listening to the Sports Minorities Podcast. We do appreciate it. If you want to keep the conversation going, we're on Twitter at SportsMinorPod and also on Facebook at Sports Minorities. Our YouTube channel, Sports Minorities. Search on there. We live stream every now and then, just some random stuff. And you can also reach us via email, sports.minorities@gmail.com. We do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to us, and we'll catch y'all next time.